let's get started with our first video react here tonight. This is from Rami's Revenge. Says Japan is broken. I previewed just a little bit of it. Dude seems to be having a crash out over the breakup with his girlfriend, who happened to be Japanese. Anyways, don't know if any of you know this girl. You might have seen her if you've been following me on Twitter, but if you've been paying attention to anything on the Twitter space. Girl named Sao-chan. She's a model, and by day she's an office worker. Really cute. Along with Sydney Sweeney, she has been capturing the hearts of a lot of people. Deservedly so, because she's really sweet and wholesome. But yeah, let's see this bloke's crash out on Sao-chan.
This lady's been blowing up on Twitter recently for being a beautiful Japanese woman that is the entire disillusioned white guy cohort of Twitter mad because why can't girls from America look like that? Personally, I understand the hype. This is a beautiful lady.
I mean, they could if they tried hard enough. Problem is, most of them don't want to try hard enough.
Her pantsuit out. She's doing the thing with her cheek that makes her cute and Japanese. The white disillusioned American loves this because in her they see a proper woman instead of the pigs that are bred in America like Sydney Sweeney, who also went viral around the same time for her ad for American Eagle, where she got her tits out. Oh my god, this is a sin. Get me an Asian woman now. But what these Twitter folk fail to understand...
You know what? It is possible to have both at the same time. Both can be acceptable. And both are acceptable.
Is that yes, this is a beautiful Japanese woman. Yes, she'll probably be nice and sweet as well, but at the end of the day, she's a woman, and one day she will switch up on you because that's what bitches do. I'm sorry for the heated intro. I just broke up with my girlfriend and she happened to be Japanese and everything was going well.
Bro's blurring out his face for
some reason.
Why?
She switched up on me for no reason. And I'm trying to warn y'all the dangers, but once again, a new Japanese woman has hit the timeline, and all you anime nerds are falling on your knees at Odafest, and everyone seems to forget that bitches are still bitches, and they will switch up on you, and Japan did deserve what happened to them during the... First of all,
damn,
this woman
bro.
is not even a...
It's not that deep. Jesus. I know you got your heart broken, but fucking hell, man. Rage bait, probably. Dude's just angry. He's still in the anger phase. Mourning the loss of his relationship. This is a skit, probably. I don't know. Pyeon Lee, welcome in. Thank you for the redeem. Quack.
Salary man. She's actually a Japanese model and former J-pop idol named Saori Araki. You can tell because the wall behind her wraps around her to make her head look smaller because in Japanese culture, having a large head is a sin greater than acknowledging your war crimes.
No,
but it's hilariously terrible Photoshop edit and the dimples from her acting cute and the picture blowing up the way it did and my Japanese girlfriend switching up on me for no reason because I know she's not mine, these bitches come and go, is also hilarious.
Be farming. Yeah, I think
this is the result of
how
how
broken
Japan actually is, but because the women are hot and the anime is still good, because of how precious and cute and
it might be becoming painfully obvious that he is, I don't know. We're only a minute and a half in, and I'm already thinking I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
Respectable the culture really is. But me, I never fell for the bait. Because I was born there, and I hated it there. And I moved here, to America, and now I kind of miss it. Even though I hated it there, because of you guys gassing up Japan. Like it's in 2050, it's not 2050, motherfucker. I understand the appeal of Japan. It's a stunning country with amazing technology that isn't actually amazing anymore. It's been surpassed for years now in terms of advancements in productivity by other OECD countries. Advanced toilets that keep your ass warm and spray your butthole with water, and make cafes. There's a real gung-ho to Asia that I don't experience in the capitalist wasteland that we call the United States. Growing up around these Americans and their gay pride and their lesbian...
He's not American, and I'm fairly certain even the Brits don't want him.
Wives, I've always felt sick of being a part of this country. I don't feel the pride that I would feel if I was a petite Japanese girl that was...
Then get the fuck out, man. You don't like living in America, get the fuck out. Bro's just mad. Bro's crashing out. This is... We're just gonna call this a crash out video.
Raised in the countryside where I ride my bicycle home with my friends. My life would be complete if only I was a petite Japanese girl that had a crush on her stepbrother who's actually from another mother. Oh god, all my problems will be solved. But instead I'm here in Ohio, my perfect Japanese high school dog.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You poor bastard. Of all the places to end up in America, you had to end up in Ohio. Bro isn't mad, he's farming with cringe. Yeah, this is cringe-inducing.
is on the other side of the world. I guarantee this is the mindset of at least 25% of you all that looked at this image that blew up on Twitter. But worry not, guys. Your Japanese doppelganger's life probably sucks too. I'm going to try to explain one of the biggest cultural reasons why Japanese people suck and are broken through this idea called tatemae versus honne. This part of the video is strictly from my experiences dealing with Japanese people as a foreigner throughout my life living there, including my ex that switched up on me for no reason. Other people might view it differently. In Japanese culture, tatemae and honne describe the tension between one's true feelings and the public facade you present to maintain social harmony. Tatemae is a social script that you follow in public, where you use polite language, agreed upon norms, and approved opinions. And honne is what you actually think and feel, your private opinions, desires, and frustrations. AKA, these people are fake as fuck. So yes, Japan is known to have one of the best hospitality cultures in the world. They bow to each other, they apologize profusely for doing something wrong, but don't get it twisted. This is all political. If you do something wrong, anything wrong, they will snake you and make you feel like you don't belong because you do not conform to the norm. I remember when me and my bae was hanging out alone, she was the best girlfriend ever. She was cute, she was nice to me, she was amazing. She'd do all this cute stuff and be really grateful and all that. But then, when I came to hang out with her friends, she was fake as hell. I tried to hold her hand in front of her friends. The bitch swatted my hand away. I'm like, damn, bitch, that's how you feel? That's how you really feel? I talked to other Japanese people about this, and turns out being nice to your bae in public is not normal. People don't do that in Japan. People want to respect the so-called social harmony over making their partner feel like they're loved and appreciated.
I live there. I'm so sorry, Jade.
Which is practically the complete opposite of what happens in the West, and I guess a symptom of why...
I don't know why I paused it there, chat. No idea. I'm just, you know, the mouse, it's just got a mind of its own sometimes. But hey, you know, that's alright. Sorry, what were we talking about? Anyway.
Why foreigners complain that in Japan there's so many rules. You know that one scene in One Piece where Luffy punches a celestial dragon and just starts wreaking havoc and all the...
Don't live there anymore. Oh good. We shan't want you to suffer needlessly. Thank you for the hydrate, Redeem Pyondi.
The people cheer at Luffy for liberating them and saying, thank you, you're my savior. If Luffy did that in Japan, he'd get shamed into submission on the spot. These Japanese salarymen don't want to be free. That would ruin the social cohesion, and people will be uncomfortable. That's because Japan is what we call a shame-based culture. For those that don't know what that means, anthropologists have long used guilt, shame, or honor to describe the three broad ways societies enforces norms. Guilt culture.
You were looking thirsty. Damn right I was.
Triggers self-reflection and a drive to make amends, usually with God or religion. This is mostly common in Western societies that value individualism, like America, whereas shame cultures enforce their norms on external judgment, like the fear of embarrassment or loss of face in public, and wrongdoing triggers withdrawal or hiding. This is common in many East Asian societies that emphasize collectivism and social harmony, like Japan. Honor cultures, on the other hand, are just straight up, if you think your daughter's a hoe, just kill her and it's okay, because she's a hoe and she's ruining the honor of the family. Japan is obviously shame-based, but why? Most of you know, Japan was a straight-up fascist die-for-your-emperor state until the atomic bombs hit its shores. Then they became chill and prosperous.
Yeah, exactly. I was just looking for research.
US occupation. But people seem to greatly overestimate the exact amount of influence the US has had on the way Japanese society functions in the modern world. Yes, the US set up a new democracy and demilitarized Japan away from its fascist roots, but the overall judicial systems and ideas still remained more or less untouched. The Liberal Democratic Party, which is a major conservative and nationalist political party that was formed in 1955, and by far the most popular political party in Japan because it has won more or less every election ever since its inception, was most famously led by Shinzo Abe, who literally visits shrines that honor Japanese war criminals and actively donates to revisionist groups and downplays textbook references to Japan's wartime aggression. The same guys that got an even worse reputation than the Nazis, the same guys that had one of their generals build a makeshift prison in his backyard and live there for the rest of his life after he got released from prison because of the guilt. The same guys that created a 100-man killing contest where two of their officers serving in China made a competition on who could kill 100 people the fastest with a sword. And it's not like this was classified information, by the way. This competition was published in Japanese newspapers during the war, like it was an NBA finals coverage. They even did an interview with the guys doing the killings where one of the guys said, without realizing we both surpassed 100 people. It was quite pleasant. Do you understand how hard it is to kill people with a sword? These are the crimes that the prime minister of the country is trying to suppress, and the US has pretty much...
Well, he's not really doing anything to suppress them now, considering that Shinzo Abe is dead.
Just let it happen. Because why not? Japanese relations with the US is good. In fact, during World War II, there was a research unit in the Japanese army called Unit 731 that committed literally some of the worst acts of human experimentation of all time on their prisoners of war. They did vivisections, they deliberately infected patients with plagues, anthrax, and frostbite, and literally none of the patients survived.
First
People
thing I
survived
see when I click on stream is it's slow. This is just a bash session. Yeah, it's just just kind of glomming on here.
Auschwitz, but not a single person survived Unit 731. And guess what? After the war was over, the United States granted immunity to Unit 731 scientists, including its leader, General Shiroishi, in exchange for their research data on biological and chemical weapons, fearing that the information might fall into Soviet hands. None of them were tried at the Tokyo War Crimes Tribunal, and many of them went on to hold prestigious positions in post-war Japan. The US will literally let you do anything. They will give you nukes even, as long as you know that you're their bitch. They won't interfere
Also,
in your domestic affairs,
hello.
and if you deny war crimes or
How you
kill
doing, Angel
Palestinian
Rose?
children in inhumane ways, they won't give a shit unless you directly fuck with them. In a way, it's fair, I guess. But anyways, back to Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe unfortunately died in November 2022, and the reason he got shot was because the guy that shot him, Tetsuya Yamagami, his mother had donated her entire family's net worth to a cult named the Unification Church, which Abe's grandfather legalized in Japan and Abe himself publicly endorsed. For those that don't know, the Unification Church was founded in Korea in 1954 by Sun Myung-moon, aka Moon, as an anti-communist millenarian movement, which basically means it's the Asian equivalent of Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses. But for some reason, it's incredibly influential, especially in Japan, causing LDP politicians to court it and legitimize it for votes and donations. The founder, Moon, claimed to have a heavenly vision at the age of 16 in which Jesus Christ himself invited him to complete Christ's unfinished mission on earth, which I guess culminated to him receiving a fuck ton of donations from rich people and donate some of the proceedings to George W. Bush's campaign for even more political protection.
That's George
Nothing says I'm the
H.W.
second
Bush.
coming of Jesus other than the washing of my money and resources in order to legitimize my wealth. Yo, people always call you crazy for saying that the world is run by a cult of people that worship a
Alright,
lizard.
how are you
as their
doing?
Lord
All
and
right.
Savior.
We're watching someone crash out because their Japanese girlfriend broke up with them. That's the only conclusion I can draw from all of this rehashing of old historical grievances that, you know, most of the victims are dead now already, and, you know, most of the people who perpetrated these war crimes are also dead. So it's just like, bro, what the fuck are you even going on about? At this point, he's just trying to fill to get over 10 minutes.
But Japan is literally ran on the donations and influence of cult leaders that aren't even creative enough to come up with their own mythology. They still use Jesus as a crutch for their lore. Like, it's not even original. Motherfuckers aren't even reading the source material in Japan. The lore is unironically worse than some of the stuff the Nation of Islam was claiming, where a mad scientist named Yaqub that was born in Mecca invented white people to torment blacks for 6,000 years. Okay, maybe.
I honestly would slap him and go, really, dude, grow up. Yeah, it's like, okay. So your Japanese girlfriend broke up with you. You just got to get back on the horse and try again. Go get yourself another Japanese girlfriend. I mean, apparently you've got experience with this sort of thing, so it's like, all right, used up the old one, get yourself a new one. Trade up to a new model.
It's not as bad as that. What I'm trying to say is, as Japan experienced this economic miracle in the 19th...
That's a cool picture. I've actually got a couple of books by a bloke named Greg Girard. Sumi Randomzen 7891, thank you so much for the follow over on Kick. But yeah, Greg Girard, he was actually living in Japan from around 1976 up until 1983, and he took a camera with him and just took a fuck ton of pictures and saved a lot of them and published them in a book decades later. And they are honestly a fascinating glimpse into just the atmosphere and daily life of Japan in the late 70s and the early 80s. And I have to say, they look awesome. He's got this really cool one where I guess he set the exposure, the frame rate just so to where he's got a subway guard, train guard, saluting as a train whooshes by, and it just, it looks so cool. There's also one that he captured of the Keio Plaza Hotel in Tokyo shortly after it first opened, and they had this really neat display. It was this world clock they had behind, I think, the concierge desk. And it was a giant world clock with all of the different time zones of different major cities in the world, with these little digital displays. Sort of like they took little alarm clock displays and made them a part of this whole wall sculpture showing what time it is in different parts of the world. You know, things like that aren't really so novel these days because, you know, we have all that on our smartphones. But, you know, back when world travel was still somewhat in its infancy, back when globalism wasn't really a thing, and there was still something quite exotic and even rebellious and nouveau about being a world traveler and traveling around the world for business or for pleasure or whatever. It kind of harkens back to that. You know, it was quite a novelty for its time, and it could be quite difficult to keep track of all of those different time zones in an age when so much was still so analog and the internet wasn't a thing. Oh, I thought you were referring to that one person who took a lot of pics in Japan via an old camera. Well, Greg Girard did do that, but it wasn't an old camera at the time. It looks like he took it with a what was then a current model 35mm single lens reflex. I don't know what exact equipment he used. I actually have the book here. It was all photographs from 1976 to 1983 in Tokyo, the area between Tokyo and Yokosuka, which is near Yokohama. This is someone I would love to have as a guest on the podcast, just to interview and ask questions, you know, about his travels in Japan in the 70s and in the 80s, and just to try as best you can to describe it, because that Japan in many ways no longer exists and is just such an entirely different world from the Japan that we know today. Yeah, I found the image. It was taken at Ikebukuro station of the guard at the station saluting as the train whooshes by. I know Ikebukuro station fairly well because that was whenever I wanted to hop a train to go anywhere, that was my starting point because my hotel was near Ikebukuro station. Doesn't really say what sort of camera he used. I'm looking through it right now to try and... it doesn't really give any technical specifications on what sort of equipment he used. But if I had to guess, he was using a 35mm single lens reflex and using a variety of different types of film from black and white to color. Anyway, let's proceed with the crash out here.
1960s, voters associated the LDP with peace, order, and prosperity, creating long-term loyalty for the party. This, along with stuff like gerrymandering and long-term buildup of resources as a result of donations from cults, as well as Japan's left-leaning parties having struggled to unite for decades, often splitting the vote, even clashing amongst each other during the 1960s because some of them became rogue communists and started killing each other in the remote mountains of Gunma in the name of Marxism and improvement. The LDP continues to be the strongest party in Japan.
All of a sudden, I'm rethinking wanting to live in Gunma Prefecture. Mainly because they've got so many houses there available, brand new houses, and the prices are quite competitive and actually cheaper than anything you can find in the United States, and certainly cheaper than anything you can find in Europe.
Not only that, these days, voter turnout among the youth is low, as many of them don't see a real alternative to the current system, creating apathy rather than revolt. Even when opposition parties briefly won, like the Democratic Party of Japan did in 2009...
This guy is so off topic. Yeah, it's like, bro, your girlfriend broke up with you, and that's sad, and that sucks, and we feel bad for you. But what the fuck does the Lib Dem Party of Japan, or the Democratic Party of Japan, and voting trends amongst Japanese youth have to do with any of that?
Result of the recession, they imploded quickly, reinforcing the belief that no one else is capable anyways. Since Japan's bubble burst in the 1990s, Japan really hasn't bounced back. Young people are stuck with low pay and super high rent, and the same politicians that were running things then have sons and daughters that are running the same things now. While other countries change and grow,
party's not wrong
Japan
about.
feels frozen in time. All these factors and a political landscape that doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon is the basis of all the problems that Japan faces today. But the problems are so beautifully packaged and told in a beautiful story with the cute Asian girl on the poster that nobody really thinks it's a problem. There's a story that you guys all probably heard before of a train station in a small town in Hokkaido that was supposed to shut down due to extremely low ridership, but remained open solely so this one high school girl could get to and from school. The story is told in this cute way where it's just a little girl going to school and it's honorable, but the
From the creators of This Could Have Been an Email, say hello to This Could Have Been a Short.
Socioeconomic undertone of the story is that Japan's population is shrinking, there's barely any young people outside of major cities, and infrastructures that were once built for bustling communities are now ghostly reminders of olden days. The people in these villages are old, they're not procreating, that girl graduated high school in 2016 and the train station has shut down since, the Japanese population is sinking, but hey, oh my god, this can be a cute anime movie, guys, oh my god, y'all think this is cute? Y'all think this is funny? Y'all think that's how you feel? Why did my bitch leave me? The salaryman is passed out from exhaustion and alcohol consumption because he spent the last 14 hours chained to his desk, wrestling with endless spreadsheets and emergency emails, only to be dragged straight from the
your girlfriend broke up with you. It's not that deep.
Office to a late-night nomikai as a casualty of Japan's relentless workforce economy, where wages stagnate and the unspoken rule of unpaid overtime forced him to log 60-hour weeks just to keep his mortgage and pension contributions afloat.
It's rare that I have to... I don't even feel like finishing all of this, and we still have 60 seconds left. It feels like this has dragged on for an eternity. We need to cleanse our palate with something, chat. I know. Why don't we watch a leaflet video? Because at least we know that's not going to be shit. We know that Leaflet puts out really good content. Check the comments. Alright. What breakup does to a motherfucker. The breakup's already making his upload schedule better. Did bro make this whole vid because his Japanese girlfriend broke up with him? Every time this guy has a mental breakdown, we get top content. Guys, I think he wants to be a Japanese girl. I think his ex switched up on him for no reason. I nearly believed everything you said in this video, but then you mentioned that you had a girlfriend, and then I knew this was fake. Kinda sad when the comments are the best part of the video. Oh God. Oh, I'm crying. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I needed that. Dude, we get it. Your girlfriend broke up with you. America after World War II might not have influenced Japan much, but Admiral Perry should have influenced it a lot. Bro, you look like a future criminal in your childhood. I'll probably make a video too if I lost a Japanese girlfriend. Basically, West equals hell, East equals more hell. Honestly, I didn't know how the comments would turn out, but I'm not surprised. When I visit Japan, I don't want to see the anime shit. I already see the anime shit a lot and I like it already. No, I want to see the actual ancient culture and nature. Alright, you know, that's fair. Schizophrenic artist tier list would go hard. Japan glazing gotta stop people doing too much and hype any BS nowadays. You think 60 hours a week is bad? Beach, my company forces me to work for 110 to 120 minimum. Oh, you poor bastard. I worked in the idol industry. I want to say the slimming of her pictures is openly done and accepted with idols to a point where there's no shame or ridicule to hide it. Many idols leave the distortion of the environments in their photos fully knowing they're visible by others because it's seen as an acceptable part of being a public figure and presenting yourself well. There's a disconnect with Westerners who see it as a lie and sneaky and are trying to shame her. It's not considered taboo for idols especially, so Sao probably saw the distortion herself and didn't think anything of it. Japan, a weird-ass country, not gonna lie. I liked this video until you started with the Yakub disrespect unsubbed. Alright. I'm still leaving her as thumbs down. Bro's crashing out.